Get recording, and in we go. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 7, continuing coverage of the upper bracket now. We move to letsrock versus Moose for one of the quarterfinals. We actually haven't cast the round of 16 yet, but there was only one game in it, so I think we'll get to that next. Galzian versus Soban, gonna be pretty fun to watch. And let's check the info.txt real quick, because the game is already underway, but 5 million views, nice. Gonna be on Kalash Teeth, as you can see. Nice colors, by the way. Very vibrant. So letsrock picks Galzian and Moose picks Soban, bans Torrent Crater. letsrock actually withholding his ban, he doesn't ban anything. Which I guess is an option, but it seems weird to me. But letsrock is going to pick Kalash Teeth for game 1. Moose picks Galzian Territories and Kartoba. letsrock picks the Boneyard, Moose picks Firebase Krill. Gotta say, Kalash Teeth, I think in vanilla we'd all say this was a good map for Coalition. I think it still kind of is in patch, but I'm kind of still not decided on that. But as for the other maps in the pool, like, we follow immediately with Galzian Territories, which could be a very aggressive map if you want to play it that way. And Kartoba, which similarly can be very decisive. So I think Moose kind of, if he gets momentum in the series, if you know what I mean, he's got kind of a nice path to very quick victory if he wants to play it that way. Now we have Senskiver Fab coming out first for letsrock. Kept the base runner though. And that probe is gonna, or scanner that is, gonna see this base runner. And it will catch this LAV as well. As for Moose, it looks like just LAV start here. Yes, you can see he's got one on RUs there. And probably carry production upgrade will come out pretty soon. But you can see he's also LDMing these CUs here, so he's clearly going for a very LAV heavy style. On the PC, nearly gonna catch the probe, but not quite, so that's quite good for him. Meanwhile, not exactly sure letsrock is going. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be straight into 2 PC skimmers here. Ordinarily, it would be a risky build, but I mean, he doesn't know that this is what his opponent is doing. He did see an LAV, but it could still be like AAV rush. But this is actually kind of fortunate for him, because this is, as it turns out, going to be kind of handy. This is sort of a nice response. Well, okay, we actually have a support cruiser coming out here before carrier production upgrade. So it's a little bit non-standard for Moose here. This LAV gonna get chunked. Very nice for the Galzian player. He was trying to get some scouting info, didn't quite see the carrier, but this one will. If he comes just a little bit closer anyway. Now you can actually tell by this blinking light that a PC is being built, but whether or not he sees that, the PC obviously is about to come out. And he should see it just barely on the sensors there, but only if he's paying attention. So I mean, there's a chance he missed this, but he probably saw it. And actually, AAV Fab gonna get tech now, so the support cruiser's out. This is a bit of an odd build for Moose, kind of 4 LAVs or so into support cruiser, but he should be okay. He's not gonna die at any kind of aggression here just yet. Well, he might if letsrock handles this correctly. He actually does have Rail Fab on the way, but it's a bit late. This is not exactly how we're used to seeing the builds. And hello, Paulus. Welcome to the Dreamlands, of course. Now, we do have Targeting Jammer available here. I still don't think these LAVs will ever take this fight, but this is exactly how he wants to use it. Let's get a bit of free damage before the skims get on top of him. And indeed, he is going to get one for free here. The skim's really interested in this base runner, though, so they're going to kind of all in onto that. Actually, like, not the dumbest idea. Like, I think he does want to fight the LAVs, but, like, he can take this base runner first. The thing is, he's still faster, and he obviously has the numbers to beat these guys. Oh, but he's not chasing them. I would just control box on them and just let them do their thing. But I notice he's using A move, which I think is kind of his mistake here. AVs are out now, though, so rails are done as well, but letsrock has to use them pretty much immediately. Oh, yeah, he might not even win this fight anymore. And actually, Moose doing a really good job of using the dunes as well. He's actually just, he's taking this fight. He kind of threw that LAV there, but, like, he had no business winning that at all. Very nicely done. And now that the AAVs are out, it's going to be really tough for... Well, it's going to be really tough for letsrock to do anything with these skims, so he needs to kind of wait for the rails to be here. And these PCs really should move up to the front line as well. He is going to get an artifact, which is nice for him. Yeah, you can see the skims want to come in, but they see these AAVs, nothing that they can do. I feel like he's got to be floating, too. No, he's not, actually. But I mean, the longer he waits, the longer his opponent is on uncontested, you know, you'd call this 1.5 base, right? LAV's going to make a bit of a play sideways here, but this doesn't look terribly good because they're sort of caught by these skims now. So they're going to have to run through them. Oh, whoa, excuse me. I'm dying. They're going to have to run through them to get back to safety. And sure enough, they just never will, so they all die there. Still no armor upgrades for Moose, actually, so I mean, these AVs are a bit more vulnerable than you would expect, but they should still trade very, very well into these skins. I love the targeting jammer as well, deployed from the very start of the game, and this is actually going to be somewhat impactful, slowing these guys down as they make their path toward the SC. And he's got another base runner actually, which is kind of fun to see as well. This AV here tries to get a bit of info, finds, okay, there are assault rails out on the field. This carrier actually not powered up though, maybe could have gotten the kill on it. Salvager's under attack now. This one kind of being microed a bit too much, if you know what I mean. He actually left the smoke, but I don't think he's going to lose any here. So these skims should all be cleaned up, and that's actually a pretty big loss for letsrock, who had a very clear skimmer advantage, but he's lost them all now. But a lot of assault railguns still on the field. Air is done for Moose, right? Again, he's on 2 base. I mean, he's got a lot of money. So he can build this. But the thing is, if the PCs actually would move out to the middle of the field here, the air wouldn't actually be able to do all that much, right? Because it'll die to 2 PC fire really, really quickly. Even, like, gunships will die to them really fast. But he's being so passive with these PCs. It's a little unfortunate. If they would move out with the army out to the midfield, he could actually still have the push right now, because he's got the better tech. But yeah, he's just kind of sitting on it. And indeed, ref mode gonna be the choice here, so now he's probably going to split up the PCs, and then air might actually do a lot of damage. So, gunship, in fact, going to be produced. I mentioned that briefly. Refiner mode finishing in just a couple of seconds here. We did actually get an artifact score as well, by the way, for Moose. And as he does have control of the field for now, I feel like he shouldn't, because these assault rails could obviously push on the AVs here, but he does have it for now. During this time, he actually is able to go for more artifacts if he wants them, so this is a pretty good position for Moose, all things considered. Probably the next step for him is to just get another support cruiser and move up onto 3 base. Probe here, gonna try and see if he can get some info, but it actually gets killed there. I think he lost the other probe too, that was a new deployment, so. But here come the air units. And then, yeah, we do have salvagers being queued up, so clearly he does have eyes on that 3rd base. Actually gonna tech into ACs, though. Missile ship tech is on the way, so it looks like letsrock kind of feels he has a premonition this is coming, but this could still do a lot of damage. For instance, all these assault rails are kind of... Yep, yeah, that gunship. Oh, man. Oh. It just feels good to see, you know? This dunking damage into this blob here. As a Galzian player, this kind of thing is my nightmares. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wake up in a cold sweat imagining that a gunship is killing all my railguns, but he catches all but one. Ouchie mama. Yeah, that's gonna swing the unit's lost tab by a bit. It's so painful. That's something you really gotta be worried about if you run, you know, railguns as your opener. And now he needs to build missile ships to counter the anti-air, but look, the ground army can just waltz in. There's nothing to stop him. There's like 2 assault rails. They can get all these salvagers dead if they want them. And indeed he does. He's going to push in for it. This is exactly what Moose wants to do. And he will lose a couple AVs here, but like the value for denying the mining and also the production time it takes to rebuild these salvagers is massive. So definitely worth it if you lose a couple AVs to get this kind of damage. By the way, fun fact, I believe that smoke deploy actually prioritizes the AAV with the least health, so it's not very common for the AAV that's about to die to not be the one that gets the smoke off, so kind of just a fun fact for you right there. See, like here, he probably had them all selected. Oh, they're all on cooldown, but whatever. If they all had smoke ready, this guy would have been the one who deployed it, because he was at the lowest HP. By the way, these rails straying a bit too far again. There are missile ships now, but obviously no upgrade yet. No, I'm sure they did. At least I've noticed this as I'm playing. It's always the AV that's about to die that throws the smoke. By the way, artillery cruiser fab on the way for, what's his face? Moose. And like I said, yeah, these rails, I mean, there are missile ships now, but these guys have just strayed a little bit too far. At best, it's distance-based. I don't know. I should maybe do some testing, but is that because the one that's about to die is usually close? Yeah, I mean that is probably a correlation there, so you might be right. Probably worth a bit of testing then, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I think it's the one that's at the lowest HP that's going to throw the smoke next. Strike Fighter's docking now. It's going to be a bit tricky for them to find value in the immediate future here, because obviously PCs have pretty good anti-air, and then obviously we've got the missile ships as well. There's 3 of them now on the field. But good air players will have the air still launched, and they'll be looking for a window. They won't, you know, throw the air units for nothing, but they'll be looking for what they can do with it. This guy, by the way, pretty slow. If you didn't know, holding an artifact slows you down. Targeting jammer slows you down based on percentage of your maximum speed, not the speed with the artifact, so this guy is really slow. This is how fast battle cruisers are in Joke Patch, so if that gives you an idea. It's how fast Gaussian carriers are with no speed in vanilla. Artillery is out, by the way, as well as an assault cruiser, which is going for a backstab, and that actually looks really painful, because this is actually a great window here. Gunship is going to try to get value. There is a missile ship out, though. I don't know about this. This gunship maybe just wants to dock. But good that he at least is looking for it. I mentioned good air players will be trying for that kind of stuff, but as you can see, artillery is still getting a lot of damage as well. Carrier's kind of low, though. He only has power from 2 artifacts. And to be fair, his opponent does as well, but this is a bit of a risky move, as you can see. Assault Rail is obviously able to damage carriers when they don't have the armor powered up. And if this carrier here had been very heavily powered from letsrock, which he didn't know about, he didn't have vision before then, that could have maybe been a bit sketchy, but he'll be okay. He backs away. He probably wants to build a support cruiser. Yeah, he is. And the assault cruiser has found its way into the main base here. And even if this doesn't just uncontested kill all of the salvagers, which he could with attack missile barrage right now, get a lot of value in that regard, he pulls the assault rails away from the front lines. This is already pretty good. It's curious though, letsrock has no heavy rails and he hasn't built any this game. That's kind of the unit that's noticeably missing from the composition here. And the air unit's able to get damage anyway, and then they dock, so that's really good for letsrock. And if he realizes he's got the power advantage right now, he can just kind of do whatever the heck he wants. Assault cruiser does go down eventually, but killed about 3 assault rails, held them away from the front line. I'd say that's actually almost worth it. And the only thing oh, I love this. The only thing missing from Moose right now is to just delete this ALM, or targeting jammer, to slow down that base burn so much. And then to go for, I'd say, railgun fab and just kind of spam those at this juncture, but I don't think he'll need it. Only thing he's got to do, I guess, is make sure he doesn't die to these assault rails. I might just power up the armor, rely on this artillery to do the damage for you. And indeed, we do have a precision barrage landing right now, although actually on this missile battery, so it's a little bit of an interesting choice. But like taking one out of weapons and out of the ALMs to put it into armor, he'd be able to actually power it up even more. Oh, I see. He was trying to clear the field so that his air can just do whatever it wants, right? I do like that. But yeah, you'd have even a little bit more safety net if you were to power up the armor a little bit further. Because obviously, with all this artillery, you've got the damage. Regardless, though, this is still a very convincing carrier fight, and he'll win it with about half of his health left. Maybe a bit more like 1/3, but pretty comfortable, I would say. And, yeah, a pretty good game from him. I think his opener could be a little bit more clean, but it definitely worked against what letsrock was doing. And letsrock, it feels, just never was active enough with those PCs to get something done, so that is going to be Moose taking game 1. Let's hop into game 2. Do a little copy pasta here. As I said, going to be on Gaussian territories. And now I mentioned Moose has this opportunity to sort of set the tempo for this game. If he wins game 1 in sort of convincing fashion, Gaussian territory is a map where you can be very aggressive. But it may also be Moose's choice to just go for, you know, like LAVs into SC like he did last time, so we'll see what he goes for. Hey, it's just Carrier. I feel like it's been too long, man. Nice to see you again. So this time we do again keep the base runner. One guy into RUs here, and then LAV fab starts. So this probably will be the same opener, more or less. We'll have to see, though. Oh my gosh, okay, I thought he was retiring his PC for a second. I was like, whoa, we're gonna see something crazy, but no. Not gonna be the case here from letsrock. But he may be switching it up, so I see 2 cells produced, but still no skimmer tech. So perhaps he will go for ref mode first here. Yeah, that seems to be it. He's clearly banking up some resources. I'll keep eyes on that. We do have a scanner deployment here, but it's pretty reserved. So I'd say usually when you go ref mode first, keeping the base runner is good because it allows you to get some scouting info. But you should probably bring this base runner out to like the front and drop the scanner like here or here, somewhere where you either get vision on the carrier or vision on the second base. Vision on the second base probably will persist longer because it's less likely to be killed. Vision on the carrier will be a bit more actionable because it shows you what tech he's got. He does go ref mode, by the way. But this scanner here doesn't really tell you a great deal of information. He actually manages to see this base runner off of it, which is kind of handy for him, but yeah, you don't get nearly as much info as you would if you would drop the scanner kind of closer to your opponent's carrier. Skimmer tech comes out here before any cells. This is quite a good build, I would say. Obviously, oh, probe, a bit of jeopardy here, but he is going to escape. You can obviously go for salvagers before you get skimmer tech, but it's quite risky, quite greedy. And indeed, it would be punished by this couple of LAVs. They would give those salvagers a bit of a hard time. So this is good for letsrock that he's gone for skimmer fab at this timing. And seeing those LAVs, I would be surprised if he doesn't queue up a couple of them on this PC. And yet, sure enough, he does. He's got the base runner as well to drop heal, so he definitely won't be killed by these LAVs here, but maybe kept a little bit honest. And then probably you expect Moose to now move into SC first, into a support cruiser. But no, he's actually going to go carry production this time. So this is kind of what I was talking about. Obviously, now that the second map is Gaussian territories, he has this option to go really aggressive because it's a map with a lot of high ground available to him, and LAVs are going to do very well here. Because there are lots of dunes to play around, but there's also lots of open ground. So LAV is pretty strong on this map. And he's going to go for it. He gets the carry production upgrade. He's going to want to spam LAVs and see if he can force his opponent to take some damage. And indeed, he's actually amazingly going to trade evenly on that first LAV despite being outnumbered. That's really, really good for him. Good use of high ground there. Going to try to force his opponent away from the eco here. And now the question is for letsrock, like, do you blink? Do you go for like assault ship tech, power 1? Or do you just go for a second PC thinking that this is just like 5 LAVs into a support cruiser? It's kind of a difficult decision to make. In this case, I think he needs tech. Rail tech could do it for him, actually, but I prefer to see him go for assault ships here. This is a bad move with the carry, though. He needs to bring the PC, which has ref mode, onto the main base, and then have the carrier move out on its own to kind of ward off the expansion. But we'll see what tech he goes for here. We do have a support cruiser actually coming out for Moose now that I look at it. But he may... You know what he could do that'd be really spicy is just bring the carrier forward, but that's not really a terribly safe build. He may continue with the LAV spam then, or perhaps he's going to go up to 3 base fast. We'll have to see, but at any rate he'll be on 2. And LAVs, despite the carrier being here, it's not powered up, so they're actually able to trade pretty effectively. This is a bit painful to see for letsrock. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, obviously, power in any system would be better than none. But again, this PC has got to be on the main, because this is really bad for the eco. This is eco-suicide, I like to call it, right? And of course, you know, Moose can see it too. He's like, oh, this is great. It is LAVs continuing to be produced, but actually AV tech going to be begun here. Still no tech from letsrock, and that's not surprising because he's got no money because he's doing this to his eco. He needs to leave that carrier there or bring the PC back to it. This is very, very bad to do, so... Oh no, he's gonna lose some salvagers off the main perhaps as well. Base runner heal could be used here to save this guy. Oh, too late. It's starting to look a little bit painful. What do you gain from AV at this stage? I know you asked Moose, but I'll try to answer it. I'm not really that sure. Because obviously there's no skimmer majority getting built up here. Until a second PC comes out, he'll obviously be able to fight with that. If assault ships come out, I think AVs can fight them, but rails would probably do better. So I'm not gonna lie, it kind of confuses me as well. I think air would be a good choice, or rails would be a good choice, but AVs, maybe not the best. It does unlock battle cruisers, maybe he wants to go for that, but... I'm kind of wondering that as well. It looks like he's kind of wondering that as well. Second BR gonna extract here, or second artifact, same base runner, as a matter of fact. Again though, look at this use of high ground, he's still able to trade. He's got the numbers, but even in cases where like 3 sand skimmers find 2 LEVs, he still fights them. Oh, yeah, right, because for you it's like down here or something. Yeah. I still don't know why that happened. I copy-pasted the same, like, parameters I had from the last, like, OBS Studio instance on my laptop, but it changed. It didn't do quite the same thing. By the way, this is what we call big ouch. Tech finally finishing, but it's rails instead of assault ships, and I feel like that's just not good. But yeah, boxes, but like the chat is actually down here, right? Anyway, second PC coming out for Let's Rock as well, but this is, it is gonna be Battlecruiser Fab. Who can blame him? If I were him, in fact, whoa. Oh, we nearly caught that guy going to space, but his crimes are still hidden for now. Again, more eco-suicide here. It's hard to watch it. This PC just needs to move over here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Moose takes his carrier and actually brings it to the front line. Obviously that support cruiser will cover the main base. No, actually he is building Salvador, so it looks like he'll fill out the third. But you might be able to sort of sledgehammer your opponent and just like take the lead to absolute victory. But yeah, exactly, doing a party bus, right? But looks like he's not interested in that, so the support cruiser will probably go to the third. Well, I guess it'll be academic anyway, because Let's Rock, he sees what's going on, he's gonna GG here, and just kind of killed by LAVs. It's painful, right? I mean, the eco-suicide really hurt him a lot more than you think. The damage done by the LAV opener is often in how you delay your opponent's eco. If you get them to just hamstring the eco that they've already got, you've already done the damage. So this is really, really bad to be moving the carrier away from the main base like that. And Moose definitely with the momentum in the series now. He looks to finish it off in this game 3, going to be on Kartoba. Again, Moose's pick. And this map, I think, going to be quite good for him as well. Oh, sorry. I'm yawning a little bit. It is early in the morning for me. My natural tendency is to wake up much later than this. Kartoba gonna be the map. And now, wouldn't it be cool, my friends, if you could drive on the Kartoba? Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, I'm just saying. 2 salvages being produced here from from Let's Rock. So it looks like perhaps he will do the same thing as last time. He puts 1 on RUs as well, which I think he hadn't done last time. This may make his build a little bit smoother. Although when I've done ref mode first, typically I've actually put... Whoa, hiccups. I've actually put 2 on RUs at the first, and then quick dropped 1 of them when he's at 10, and flipped him to CUs. And I think that lines it up a little bit better. But no, actually, we have Skimmer Fab starting here now for Let's Rock. So this is going to be something different. If it's going to be Assault Ships, I think maybe this isn't quite the right build, but he may go Rails from here. We'll just have to see. Scanner, though, deployed because he keeps the base runner, which is interesting. But again, it's deployed in kind of a wet noodle position, I think. It's just kind of like, hey, I can see the artifact. But, like, he can't really see anything else with this. I do like this, though, because he was killed while doing ref mode last game. Maybe he wants to flip it up a little bit. Play something more that's to his strength, but I think he definitely wants to bring that PC forward this time if he's going to go for aggro. That was what was really missing from the last games that we saw. He's got the money to tech up to Assault Ship if he likes, he's got the money to tech to Rails, but he may actually go second PC. This is kind of what Let's Rock has been doing previously. Yep, that is the call here. Sorry if I'm making disgusting noises with my mouth, still got a bit of a cold. Still got a bit of a Rona. No, I actually tested negative twice, can you believe that? But yeah, Let's Rock with pure skims onto a 2PC build. And this is very typical from him, but again, it really struggles if your opponent gets any kind of tech. So, I'm a little bit worried for him there. Oh shoot, you're right, Cookies. Oh dear. I didn't think about that. It is going to be tech as well from Moose, so he sees the sand skimmers here, so he goes straight into AV Fab. I know, right? Like, he could drive the skims onto it right now. Oh dear. I'm missing the targeting jammer action. This is pretty cool, actually. There's a bit of high ground here, sort of working in Let's Rock's favor, and yet with that targeting jammer, he's able to get the DPS as Moose. He wins this fight here. Well, perhaps. This is no ups, right? Yeah. Skims just have, I suppose, superior DPS at close range, but He is actually able to trade, I think, evenly there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. No, actually 2 for 3, and then it looks like letsrock got the pro. So he actually trades favorably there, despite actually having the numbers disadvantaged. So again, very good micro here from Moose. I've got to say, I'm very happy to see these starting jammer plays. He seems to know what he's doing with them. This, by the way, I'm such a negative, like, what am I trying to say? I'm such a detractor of ALM spam. But this is a good ALM, because it was used here to actually swing an advantage over the Strikecraft fight, so, oh. Should be called Drive on KT. No, it should obviously be called Jaraci Cup, because that's like one of the places from the campaign, right? But it's also Turkish for cheese. I've already thought this through, as you can see. Railgun Fab gonna come out from letsrock. Again, though, PCs here, not in the front line, and they should be. They should just be right here. This is a much better position. You get that frontline production, which is a really big advantage. And when the rails do come out, you obviously have anti-air coverage for them in case your opponent goes for air. And we saw him just get wrecked by air in game 1, so like, you really don't want to let that happen again. Skins again using the attack move order here. They are going to be in time though to save this base runners. That's not a huge problem. Heal might be used here as well. That'd be kind of snazzy. Attack move though, not my favorite command. I think you really just want to be using bandboxing, but he is going to get control of this. Heal, heal, heal. Oh my gosh! The Targeted Jammer, the AV! He's gonna stop the artifact! Oh my gosh! Attack move has failed him. What is this? The ALM, or no, the Targeted Jammer and the AV just perfectly timed. What an outplay! Oh, Moose. He's not even gonna lose this base runner, is he? And these AVs, like I've said before, are gonna trade madly efficiently here. Not to mention they've got armor too. So this is really taking all the steam out of this attack. And the PCs, again, not in the front line, but they want to be there. You want to have that frontline production, because having the assault rails here right now would make a huge difference. But Moose is just styling, man. This is crazy. He's gonna get an ALM for his troubles, but that's about it. No, he's not even gonna get that. He leaves it too early. He'll get a salvager. Okay, he'll get a salvager. But then the AVs will be here before too long, and they can smoke up. Smoke came out of this guy, so I guess you're right. It does come out of the one that's closer, not the one that's lower health. That kind of proves that point for you. Massively good trading here from Moose, and he is now miles ahead. Make no mistake, Ref mode will come out. letsrock can get onto 3 base actually, but Moose definitely in the driver's seat of this game. And if he wants to, fighter and gunship is an option, and this would actually be a very good choice here because, as I've said before, when you're ahead, this is a very good way of doubling down on your advantage, especially against railgun openers. I wonder if we'll see a response to that. And you know what happened in the first game from letsrock by just going for missile ships right now, but he has a lot of money to spend because he needs to get up on the 3 base, and yeah, he will. He goes for missile ships at this point, but he needs to get to 3 base stat because obviously his opponent is going to be there before long. So if he delays, it's going to be trouble for him. And battlecruiser fab coming out for Moose as well. What a call! I love just seeing Soban battlecruisers in general. So this is obviously fun to watch. But it may be a very good call as well. We know that there's rails out, so this does make things tricky if there's a big force of heavy rails on the field. But if you kind of get in the mind of your opponent here, well, he kind of needs to go for anti-air, because obviously air could come out and really wreck him. He's probably not going to have heavy rails then, because it's an expensive investment that could be killed by air. He knows that I could have LAVs too, so while he doesn't have vision, probably assault rails will be on the field. Battlecruisers, good choice against all this. Against a low numbers army, and against a lot of assault rails. So this, I think, is a very clever call. I like it. If battlecruisers are going to work, this is the kind of game. Third support cruiser's out, by the way, so this is an unlocked carrier. Oh, but he cancels me CFAB. I just hyped it up so much, but he's not going to go for it. That's okay. Railfab is going to be good as well. He's going to make another support cruiser, probably bring that carrier forward now. He's got 2 base runners, so he wants to go for some power as well, getting extracts, and he does have power 2 on the queue. This is going to be a very, very powerful Soban carrier, so it's not going to be easy to fight this. And having a frontline support cruiser, very, very nice as Soban as well, since obviously that carrier does not do the healing for you. And letsrock will be ready for air, but it's not going to come for him. Yeah, he canceled BCs for small BCs. Oh my gosh, another support cruiser. That's maybe a bit overkill. Probe gets sniped here, by the way. Especially because you've got carrier power, you only really want like one at home and then carrier drive forward, right? Maybe he'll come... No, he should come on this side. So, in Kartoba, the main push generally is found on this side of the field because you can get high ground, obviously, on both ends when your opponent is attacking you, but you can kind of do more about it from this side because you have like air over there. So, I think you don't usually want to pull the main attack on this side of the field. You want to kind of go here and then backstab on that side. But... to each their own, though. Magixel starting as well, so you can tell he wants to go for that carrier power push. But okay, finally we do have the carry moving out. This feels a bit late to me, but oh no, actually letsrock is only on 2 base right now. By the way, railguns will be killed by assault rails if they get on top of them, but generally very good counter to assault railguns, and so this is also kind of problems for letsrock. If he goes for the flank though, he would be actually in a decent position, I suppose. Although it's worth saying, like, in a base trade scenario, this Galzian carrier will just die. There's no power in it, so it can't get away very fast. Railgun's obviously going to outspeed it by quite a bit. So... but the question is, does Moose check this? Like, if he sees this with the AV, which he will, does he deal with the backstab, or does he instead just go for the base trade? But I'm still a bit perplexed about letsrock being on 2 base here. Artifact picked up by Moose. AV gonna smoke and try and get out of here, but he will go down. But it looks like he's not gonna blink, so he's just gonna go straight for the base trade. And I've got to say, I think this favors him. This number of assault rails will kill bases really fast, but like, this carrier is just gonna die, I think. Moose looking like the new no fun. Yeah, I mean he's doing well. This is definitely an improvement from earlier games in the tournament. I'll be interested to see how he fares against other competition as well. What happened to the old one? Oh, he just wasn't in this tournament. He'll be coming back for the next one. I'm pretty sure, anyway. About which, in fact, there will be some kind of spicy news, but I can't exactly share it just yet because it's a little bit still in the air. Yeah, I don't know about Shrike. I want to see him come back, but I feel like he just is too salty. But... you know, one of these days maybe we'll see him again. This is what I was saying, by the way. Obviously the base trade seems to favor the Galzian player because he has a very fast base take, but actually this carrier is going to get stuck. There's not going to be any escape from what's about to happen to him. By the way, another base runner picks up this 3rd artifact. I love that. A lot of power in the Savan carrier. He's teching power 4, in fact. And, support cruiser's getting lost on the main base here, but like, it doesn't really seem to matter to me. Not to mention, I mean, this is also an eco wipe from Moose. One thing he's lacking is marked target. That'd be really nice. Marked enemies obviously take increased damage, so you lose the damage of the railgun to make all of these guys do 25% more. That's a good trade. Indeed, carry does go down, and that means Moose gonna take this series 3-0. And a series that I thought actually would be really kind of a tough contest for him, but he actually seems to sort of wipe the field here, so very, very nicely done. I'm excited to see him play then in the semifinals, but that is indeed where he's going to make it. And that also secures him an upper bracket spot in Jaraci Cup 8, so that's pretty cool as well. All around, well done, my friend. But I think we'll move on to the next one. Thanks for tuning in.